Hello, welcome to another episode of The High Ground, powered by Premier Companies. Ryan, how are you doing today?
Doing wonderful, thanks.
All right, good. Before we get started, we have a very special guest in here with us today. She has been with us from the beginning of the podcast. But before we introduce our special guest, I'd like to ask everybody to like and subscribe on the whichever platform you're listening to or watching. That is important to our CEO. And he wants to make sure we have people actually liking and subscribing and listening.
Especially episode 64.
Yes, please do that one heavy. We're trying to drive a lot of traffic to him. So with us today in the podcast room is Katie Martin, our Director of Marketing. Katie, how are you doing today?
I'm good, thank you. How are
This
you?
is your first time on, and you've been with us since the beginning in the background.
That's where I plan to stay, but you've told me today that's going to be different.
Everything the design, the logos, the name, you've been there since day one.
That's why I'm here, Ryan.
Yes.
Anything for you.
I appreciate it. I appreciate
Boy, look at that sincere face.
I know.
she's making.
Right.
I practiced.
Well, you're just in time because we're going to do something a little different this in 2023. We're going to start off every episode with the question of the day.
Okay.
And today's question of the day was if you were on, let's hope we never get on death row, but let's say that you had a chance to have your final meal. If you were on death row and your final meal, what would that be?
Okay. Probably, well, I'd have to say for sure, wouldn't I? Not probably.
No, it'd be it. You're not
Don't
going to
get
get
a
one chance
do-over.
at this. Yeah.
This is a hypothetical.
I'd have a lot to ask. I like appetizers, so I'd want to start out with a few different ones of those, but move into steak, potatoes, green beans.
All right.
Finish off with a few different desserts as well. I like the beginning and the end to be. I like a few different
You're going to make
options.
this last one last a long time then.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
I'm gonna hope to be pardoned.
See the jailer outside.
The more
going,
you ask.
We've got a date. We've got a time. Let's go.
So meat and steak and potatoes.
Steak and
then,
potato
after
would
the
be my
appetizers.
favorite. But
What kind
yeah.
of appetizers?
Oh, let's anything with cream cheese. So we get some jalapeno poppers, maybe some. I like seafood dips too. Buffalo chicken dip. I'd make it last. We'd stretch it out for a while.
Costly.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hey, it's your last meal.
Well, I guess.
No
and-
Chick-fil-A here.
Nope.
Ryan, how about you?
It'd have to be breakfast. I would want biscuits and gravy and the whole. I'd want everything. So yeah,
Just the
breakfast. The
The
for
lumberjack slam or whatever at Denny's.
Sure. Look at me. I don't do egg whites.
Mine would be spaghetti and meatballs. We get heavy meat sauce, garlic bread.
Or Kentucky Italian, yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
my wife
Absolutely.
makes
with
great-
squirrel.
Yeah, squirrel spaghetti sauce. Well, Katie, tell us from a director of marketing, tell us what kind of projects. I guess one thing we'd like to know specifically is our community involvement at Premier Ag.
Yeah, so
And-
that's in my wheelhouse. One of my main focuses is how we as Premier can support the communities in which we live, work, and play.
All right, can you tell us about a few things that's going on?
Yeah, so our largest focus right now, well, always our largest focus is youth in agriculture. So how can we touch the youth coming up today, and they're going to be our future tomorrow? So we focus on 4-H. Well, we have put a focus. Last year, we focused $50,000 to donated to 4-H. And
Well, we kind of changed something, didn't we?
Yeah,
We,
so-
prior to a few years ago, we had sponsor. We was always at the livestock auction, and that was kind of our sponsor. That was kind of our participation.
that's right.
But we made a change after a lot of deliberation about, to go back to your first point about how we could touch more kids with and get more interest in ag. So what did we change back when we left the 4-H auction?
Right. So some way we challenged ourselves was, okay, we're spending X amount of dollars at the livestock auction. So we're going to, at that time, I think 13 different counties and bidding on auction animals. You know, sometimes those auction animals are bid up quite a bit. So we may walk away with one animal, maybe two, sometimes even none at a county fair. So we were impacting, one or two children at those. So we decided, how can we impact more kids and spend that amount of money? Or could we challenge ourselves to donate more. So that's what we did. We took a look at that and we challenged ourselves at first $50,000. How can we take the $50,000 and how can we reach kids with programming that they might not get without the Premier Ag funds?
Neat. And some of those, so up until this past year, so tell us what some of those projects look like.
Yeah, so there was so each county, I guess, so Premier started with the $50,000. We are going to put this $50,000 aside, and we are working with the Indiana 4-H Foundation to do that. Each county that we serve in has an application process, and it's a simple one-page application that's basically tell us who you are and what you want to do in your county. So one of those applications may come back and say, we want to start a drone program. We had one county that said, we can't do this drone program. We've got this great idea, but we don't have the funds for it. So can you help us? So we were able to look at that and take part of our donation and send that to that county. And they started a drone program, not only with multiple children, but then multiple adult volunteers that were trained through this, that those funds went and paid for the training and the drone equipment and all the other things they needed to get that program started.
So what else? Well, I mean, it was fascinating to me when we talked about some of the stuff that they've done.
So some other ways, other programs, part of it, we asked for on our application process is, do you need building upgrades? We had one group come to us, one county that said, we're in dire need of a ADA accessible bathroom. We have a child that's in 4-H that we do not have a bathroom facility that they can get into that's anywhere near the barns. So we were able to help fund that.
I mean, you just got to have access to things. I mean, you don't think about that until you're impacted with somebody that's a relative or a friend.
Sure.
And,
True.
Whether it's guardrails or handrails and steps, we take a lot of these things for granted. One of the things that I know one of the extension agents told me, and it's things we don't think about that needs investment, whether it's even wheelbarrows, right, in the livestock barns. We needed a few wheelbarrows, so we put an application in for some equipment, and this money has to come from somewhere, and there's a limited amount, and the 4-H parents get hit pretty hard, right?
Right.
So they're usually the first round that gets the money making and donations.
And we tried to drive creativity with the request. Obviously, the more creative and the wider reach. I mean, that's obviously important to us as we look to delegate those funds. And there are just a certain amount of funds. So at some point in time, those do run out. So it is imperative that these 4-H leaders get involved in signing up for that, so it's available.
True. We had going even a little younger, some of the counties wanted to start some mini 4-H camps where they had in the previous years not been able to do that, to reach out to that group that's a little bit younger, even those first and second graders that haven't started in 4-H yet. So they have used their funds to host some mini 4-H camps to get those kids excited and even go in the classrooms and do the mini camps at the school that maybe a kid wouldn't know anything about 4-H. Maybe their family's removed from agriculture completely, but that sparked an interest in learning that while you can show animals, you can also do some other things. You can, get involved in a robotics club. One county used the funds that we were able to give them to start a Sphero robot. Yeah, so pretty cool that they can learn to use technology to operate those, and how will that impact our agriculture in 20 years from now when those kiddos are going into a ag field?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, it's been so successful. I guess you had a presentation to the board just a few weeks back.
We did. So we met with our board of directors and our management team and talked about how many children we were able to impact and also how many requests we had and how much those requests were for. So with the counties that we serve in, now around the 25, upper 20s, we had a request for $106,000, but we only had that $50,000 to give.
Wow.
So with our board, hearing that and hearing the need and then hearing how many children we had impacted already made the motion to donate $100,000 to the 4-H program this year.
Wow. So they've doubled it.
Yeah, doubled. So we'll be doing that in partnership with the 4-H Foundation. And, that partnership is so important that they can help us reach each county. They have direct contact with those educators in each county that kind of makes that gap close, that we really know what's going on in each county and really get a good understanding of how our funds are being used to touch others.
Neat.
Okay. What else do you have for us outside of just the
let's
4-H?
see.
What
Well,
else
we don't do anything. No.
Well, I got one question though.
Yeah.
What's the application? How do they apply? How do the extension agents apply?
So the 4-H Foundation's been really great in helping us. So they have contact every day with the county educators. So they actually send that application out to the county educators and say, hey, this round of funding is coming from Premier. Be thinking about what you want to apply for. And then, now the funding is open. It's a 1-page report or application. Tell us what you want to do with this. And then it also includes a 1-page report where we ask them to tell us how many kids did you impact, what happened, what could be better next year.
That's awesome.
Great. Well, thank you. Well, so what else do you have? I mean, the marketing department is obviously community minded. So.
Yeah. So let's see. This year we sent a team in many years in the past, sent a team to work with Habitat for Humanity. So we had some people donate their time and build a house we actually built 2 houses. So built 2 houses for a family that needed a home, and they could do anything that day, from painting to cutting trim to putting siding on a house. So that program really brings together whatever group we have. I think we had 6 people donate their whole day and just get to know each other and spend some time outside of work that may work in all different areas of Premier, but come together as a group and donate that.
And that I heard some feedback that they really enjoyed their time together. That they had a good time. I've heard it referenced by 2 or 3 of them multiple times that we should do that again.
That's neat.
Yeah.
And we will each August. So we'll be looking for a new group to volunteer. So,
there you go.
And we do have a list going. So people do really enjoy that and enjoy getting to give back.
Well, I know one thing, something else you do is just the customer outreach. And sometimes we forget about how the different ways we communicate with our customers now. And I know that, Katie, this is one of the things that, between you and Ryan and kind of building the podcast, but then also the website, Facebook channels, websites, just those different avenues of texting and getting information out to our customers. But then also now, just like when there's different offers in the industry, you're working to get this out as a text message where if a grower has an interest, they can simply click a link on their phone and access a different program.
Yeah, there's so many different ways that people want to be contacted and what works for them. That we found maybe a grower does want a text message to learn more information. Some others want to go to Facebook and gather those requests there. We do some email marketing where we send out messages just to remind people. We don't want to bug them. Our content, we want to be relevant and helping operations.
Yep.
Is it appropriate to tell you if you're bugging us?
No, I will not. There is an unsubscribe button, but we hide it.
Right. I just meant when you walk in like the office, and you're like, oh my God, you're bugging us. No,
you do that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think.
Yeah, we do. Customer meetings. I mean, the customer meetings were very successful. I know you guys were very integral in getting all of the swag, the handouts, the annual report, and so the outreach and the focus on putting the positive behind the Premier logo, I mean, can't be understated. You guys work endlessly to do that. So, yeah, that's part of the reason why we wanted you on here today is this all comes together by a group of people, and I kindly give you guys a hard time. All of my emails to the marketing people have greetings that are, I think very complimentary. I think you guys sometimes think that I'm being a smart aleck, but
Well, we know you are, but you do bring up a good point. off of subject, but something that reminded me, you said working with other people, and we do have to thank some of our regional cooperatives that really work with us, like Land O'Lakes. They have a hunger program that for every dollar we donate to a food bank or a shelter, blessings in a backpack to send food home with kiddos, over the weekend, every dollar that we donate, they match that dollar for us. So I think those are programs that we could not impact as many people as what we do without them. So a huge thank you to Land O'Lakes and Growmark and CHS and CountryMark for everything they do to recognize what's going on right here in our community. And they put that trust in us to make those decisions, knowing that we know who is going to be impacted closer to home right here.
That's neat. We have other co-ops, just like our ownership is our growers that own us, and then we also own other through us. They own other regional cooperatives, and that we can take that money and invest it right back in our communities. And there's, right. I think, just like our CEO said during that round of customer meetings, there's no other way that you can make sure that your dollars are coming right back in your own communities than the cooperative system.
So very true. And those programs go even further than the hunger program. They have a separate area that allows us to say, we've got a local volunteer fire department that needs new equipment or new grain. We've done some grain rescue tubes recently, right? That without those dollars and Premier being able to match those dollars with that larger regional cooperative, it helps us be able to impact so many more. While we have those food programs, we also have the programs that reach even more, and they help with the 4-H, with volunteer fire departments, with some of the youth leadership programs like FFA, whether it be a soil judging contest that a group needs funding to go to, or public speaking. These are things those younger leaders are learning now that need sponsorships to get there, that they can use later in life.
Good deal. All right. That's all I've got.
Anything else, Katie?
No, I think I'm talked out.
I bet not.
Well, test me in a minute.
Exactly. Well, that's it. And thank you to Lindsay Riggins as well as part of the marketing division. And I'd be far remiss if I didn't mention Harold Cooper as part of the marketing division as well. So
because marketing's too important to leave to just the marketing department.
Right, exactly. Absolutely. I'll let that go down as your comment. So.
Hey, whoa. Can we duck quack that one?
Yeah, exactly. So that's another episode of The High Ground, powered by Premier Companies. Thanks, Katie, for being here.
Thank you.